The most important relationship you'll ever have in your life isn't the one with your partner, family, or friends. It's the one with yourself. Because every failure, every missed opportunity, every lack of self-confidence, and every "I settled for less than I deserved" moment stems from the same fundamental truth. You don't truly love yourself. Most people spend their entire lives seeking love, approval, and acceptance from others. But eventually, they realize that the love they seek must come from within, not from the outside world. Outside approval is never enough. Because if a person doesn't love themselves, no amount of attention can fill the void within. The secret of successful people: unwavering self-love. Those who are truly strong, confident, resilient, and who seize the right opportunities in life know one thing better than others. Self-love is an art. Self-love isn't a superficial motivational post on Instagram. It's a scientifically supported model of a deep, unwavering, and transformative inner connection. By the time you finish this chapter, you'll understand why most people struggle with self-love and how building an unbreakable relationship with yourself can be the most powerful force you can wield in your life. It's not just about feeling good. It's about rebuilding yourself. It's a transformation that fundamentally impacts success, self-confidence, and happiness by changing the way your brain works. The hidden epidemic: the disease of self-love. 85% of people live in self-rejection. Recent studies show that over 85% of people have low self-esteem. Many of these people spend their lives rejecting their own identities. They don't love themselves. They don't trust their own opinions. They don't know how to love themselves at all. And the greatest tragedy is this: they don't even recognize it as a problem. They constantly blame their life's problems on external factors: people, luck, money, circumstances. But they completely ignore the fundamental inner connection: your inner enemy, your own voice. Imagine someone like this: someone who constantly criticizes you, points out your mistakes, and tells you you're never good enough. Would you want to spend time with this person? Would you trust their judgment? This is exactly how most people treat themselves. The voice in their head is more destructive than even the most ruthless enemy. We forgive others for their mistakes, but we punish ourselves for our own past for years. The consequences of this internal struggle are severe. Staying in toxic relationships, settling for less than you deserve, working hard but never feeling like we're enough, withdrawing when opportunities arise, being unable to say no, perfectionism, self-sabotage, constantly seeking approval from others. All of this has one root: a lack of self-love. According to your brain, self-love is a need, not a luxury. The brain responds to self-love. When you think positively about yourself, your brain releases dopamine and serotonin. These are the hormones of happiness and satisfaction. So, self-love isn't just a psychological state. It's a measurable brain chemical. People who practice self-compassion experience increased emotional regulation, strengthened resilience, easier stress management. Why is self-criticism so painful? Self-criticism activates the brain's physical pain centers. That's why we describe heartbreak as pain. Your brain processes physical and emotional threats the same way. Therefore, attacking yourself creates the same stress in your mind as being chased by an attacker. These include impairs decision-making skills, kills creativity, inhibits strategic thinking, keeps you constantly alert. No one can be happy, thrive, or develop with such a mindset. Neuroplasticity, reprogramming the brain. The good news is, the brain can change. Each new, self-compassionate thought creates new neural connections. Every time you talk to yourself compassionately, your brain creates new pathways for self-acceptance. With repeated self-love becomes automatic. Mirror neurons. Self-compassion equals compassion for others. People who treat themselves well are more likely to treat others well. This strengthens social bonds, increases a sense of belonging, and makes people happier. Left. Prefrontal cortex. Life's step-by-step ascension. Center. In people who practice self-acceptance, the areas of the brain associated with positive emotions and motivation become more active. So, a person who loves themselves is more assertive, more courageous, more optimistic, more resilient. Chapter 2. The true home of self-love in the brain. Self-love is often said to be a luxury, a fad, or simply positive thinking. But science shows the opposite. Neuroimaging studies of the brain show that self-directed love is a natural force that activates the same regions responsible for emotional intelligence, decision-making, and emotional resilience. Even more impressive, when you love yourself, the nurturing systems in your brain are activated. The same neural networks are activated when a mother soothes her child and when you show yourself compassion. Therefore, self-love is the power to create within yourself the warmth your family cannot give you. And this is not a luxury. It is a biological necessity. When you love yourself, your brain creates the ideal chemical environment for peak performance, resilience, and happiness. 2. Childhood. The seeds of self-rejection. Every human being comes into the world with an inherent sense of self-worth. Babies don't question their right to exist. They want things. They say things. They cry. They laugh. They're not ashamed to be who they are. We naturally love ourselves. But as adults, we criticize ourselves harshly, questioning our worth. The answer lies in our early programming. Every look, every sentence, every criticism. Your parents, even if well-intentioned, transmitted their own wounds to you. If love was performance-based, you learned to believe, if I'm successful, I'm valuable. If your feelings were belittled, you learned to suppress them. If you were told you were too sensitive, too much, you learned to despise yourself. Some of you learned that love is dangerous. If you have caregivers who are both loving and painful, love and fear are simultaneously etched in your mind. All of this shapes your nervous system. And years later, even in safe environments, it keeps you on edge. So, the real reason you reject yourself isn't your fault. These are adaptive strategies you developed in early childhood to survive. 3. The invisible effect of cultural stereotypes. Society also taught you who you should be. Men were taught to suppress their emotions. Women were told that anger was unbecoming. The school system rewarded conformity and punished difference. Some religious and spiritual interpretations labeled you as innately flawed. All these messages created a profound conflict within you. Your true self and who you were meant to be. That hurtful inner voice, the constantly judging critic. This is not you. The combined effect of all the criticisms from your past. 4. The hidden root of shame and perfectionism. Shame is the darkest fuel of self-rejection. It's not about what you've done. It's about feeling bad about who you are. If a child is constantly made to feel wrong, incomplete, or not enough, two things will happen in adulthood. Either they hide their identity behind perfection, or they feel guilty about expressing their own needs. Perfectionism isn't actually a success strategy. It's a survival mechanism born from the shame you felt as a child. And this mechanism will slowly eat away at you as an adult. 5. External approval addiction, the invisible prison. One of the greatest enemies of self-love is seeking external approval. And in the modern world, this addiction is more prevalent than ever. If your sense of worth depends on the opinions of others, likes on social media determine your mood, you feel compelled to consult multiple people before making decisions. It becomes difficult to say no. You forget yourself in your efforts to please others. External approval works like dopamine. It provides a brief moment of happiness, but its effect wears off quickly, and you want more. That's why people constantly strive to be more successful, to look more beautiful, to be appreciated more. But the void inside them is never filled, because the real problem isn't failure. It's the dependence of self-worth on external factors. And this dependency silences your own intuition, your own judgment, your true self. You begin to organize your life not for yourself, but for others to follow. 6. True freedom, returning to your inner compass. The good news is, the brain can change. Thanks to neuroplasticity, what you learned in your early years is not your destiny. You can become a new parent to yourself. You can give yourself a love you've never experienced before. You can gradually let go of your dependence on external validation and place your self-love within, not outside. True self-love begins the moment you can say, "I am enough just because I exist." And that's when the direction of your life begins to change. Chapter 3. Inner approval. Hunger, why we reject ourselves. Most of us don't show ourselves as we truly are throughout our lives. Trapped between societal expectations and our own inner voice, we hide our true selves to fit in. We suppress our unique, different, or potentially controversial qualities. Over time, this masked life creates an invisible fragmentation. We reject ourselves and begin to feel worthless. And to fill this void, we cling to any external praise, recognition, and approval. But here's the problem. You can't fill a bucket with a hole in it. No amount of external praise or approval can replace self-acceptance. 2. Learning the difference between appreciation and approval. Real change begins with understanding the difference between these two concepts. Appreciation means being grateful to others, but not relying on external sources of your worth. Approval addiction, on the other hand, is needing others to see you positively in order to feel good about yourself. Compliments are the sweetest thing in the world, but being dependent on them makes life miserable. True self-love is the ability to feel valued regardless of whether others value you. 3. Inner validation, the way to take back your power. Cultivating inner validation means learning to be your own champion. It means celebrating your successes, appreciating your efforts, and feeling proud of yourself, even if others notice. This isn't arrogance. On the contrary, healthy self-love makes you more open to constructive criticism because no feedback threatens your self-worth. A person who loves themselves doesn't take anything personally. They don't feel wronged. They feel, evaluate, and act in alignment with their own values. This initiates a major transformation. Instead of asking, "What will people think?" you start asking, "What is right for me?" 4. From false self to freedom. Revealing your true self takes courage, because external validation can weaken you. Some people may not like your true self, but let me tell you the truth. Those who love your false self never loved you. Those who accept you for who you are will shine in your life. When you break free from approval addiction, you regain your emotional strength. No one's mood can control your self-worth, and you begin to see yourself as an adult within. This is one of the most powerful steps towards self-love. 5. The self-love foundation system. Now that we've identified the obstacles, it's time to create the solid foundation upon which lasting self-love will be built. This system is built on 4 main pillars: self-awareness, self-acceptance, self-compassion, self-care. These pillars support and strengthen each other, leading you to an unshakable inner balance. 6. Self-awareness. You can't love yourself without knowing yourself. In fact, many people are strangers to themselves. They don't truly recognize their feelings, thoughts, reactions, and habits. Life is lived through automatic patterns, not conscious choices. Self-awareness means being an observer of your own experience. Ask yourself these questions throughout the day. How does my inner voice speak to me? How do I respond to failure? What emotions trigger me? What habits drag me down, and which ones sabotage me? Without this awareness, self-love is impossible. 7. Self-acceptance. Embracing both your light and your shadow. Self-acceptance doesn't mean I love myself, I am complete. It means I accept myself as I am, without hiding my flaws. The more you reject your human side, the more power you give it. But when you recognize and accept it, your power to make conscious choices returns. The exercise of radical acceptance is a powerful tool here. Looking in the mirror and saying, "I accept myself as I am right now," is far more transformative than you might think. Don't forget to accept your past too. Your mistakes don't define you. Holding on to them imprisons you. 8. Self-compassion. Silencing the inner critic. Self-compassion means stopping beating yourself up for mistakes and showing yourself the kindness you would show a friend. When you experience a setback, ask yourself, what do I really need right now? Perhaps a moment of rest. Perhaps a word of encouragement. Perhaps an acknowledgement of your difficulty. This is a difficult moment. Pain is part of being human, and I can be kind to myself. Even this sentence begins to calm your nervous system. Remember that the words you use shape your mind. 9. Self-care. The action of self-care. True self-care is making conscious decisions that nourish your body, mind, spirit, and emotions. Properly nourishing, moving, and resting your body. Setting emotional boundaries. Nurturing your mind with positive content. Nurturing your spiritual side, regardless of your beliefs. Saying no to those who drain your energy. Chapter 4. Silence your inner critic forever. The path to true self-love. Your inner critic is perhaps the most destructive force preventing you from loving yourself. This voice in your head constantly judges, criticizes, and undermines your self-confidence. Thoughts like, "I'm not good enough," "I'm not smart enough," "I'm not successful enough," remind you of every mistake you've made and consume you like a harbinger of future failures. It's common to mistake this voice for your own thoughts, your own reality. But here's what you need to know. Your inner critic isn't you. It's a mechanism from your past, designed to protect you, but now sabotaging your happiness. It usually develops in childhood to protect itself from criticism. If you grew up in an environment where criticism was prevalent, your brain learned to criticize itself first. The logic was simple. If I identify my flaws, I can fix them before others do and avoid rejection. Over time, this self-criticism evolved into a strategy for belonging and survival. In performance-based environments of love and approval, your brain learns that anything less than perfect is dangerous. The inner critic becomes the enforcer of these impossible standards. It constantly pushes you to do better, but also tells you that your efforts aren't enough. Society also feeds this voice. The unrealistic standards imposed by social media and our environment portray our perceived shortcomings as evidence of our inadequacy. The inner critic is acutely aware of our weaknesses and uses our deepest fears, past hurts, and greatest strengths to attack us. While sometimes disguised as motivation, research shows that inner criticism undermines motivation and creativity, increases anxiety, and fuels self-sabotage. When you constantly receive the message, "You're not good enough," you avoid taking risks and growing. You live in a paralyzed state, missing out on opportunities. Your inner critic then resorts to cognitive distortions, creating catastrophic scenarios, viewing every mistake as a personal failure, and constantly comparing others to itself. So, how can we silence our inner critic? First, accept them as a separate entity from your true self. Pay attention to their voice. Notice when they're harsh, critical, or discouraging. Give them a name. Even imagine them as a character. This helps create distance. Question the critic's words. Ask for proof when they say you're failing. Consider the possibilities when they predict disaster. And remember their perspective when they compare you to others. This approach diminishes the critic's power when you experience the reality behind the scenes. To cope with your inner critic, cultivate a compassionate inner voice. Show the kindness you would a friend in a difficult situation. Appreciate effort without judgment. Offer comfort during setbacks. Ask yourself, "What would I say to a close friend?" And say those words to yourself. Also, set boundaries between yourself and your inner critic. As you would with a toxic person, don't engage with or allow yourself to be distracted by their negative comments. Replace negative statements with neutral or constructive alternatives. Instead of saying, "I'm so stupid," say, "I'm trying." Instead of saying, "I'll never succeed," say, "Let's try." If your inner critic no longer serves you, gently let it go. You might say, "Thank you for trying to protect me, but I'm getting used to it." Meditation and mindfulness practices are very helpful in this process. They allow you to observe your thoughts without obsessing over them. The goal isn't to eliminate all critical thoughts, but to transform them into kind and constructive feedback. Emotional awareness is also the foundation of self-love. Most people are conditioned to view certain emotions as negative or dangerous. Therefore, they suppress, ignore, or judge them. However, emotions carry information about our needs, boundaries, and values. Anger indicates that something important is under threat. Sadness signals loss and the need for healing. Fear warns of potential danger, and joy shows that we are aligned with our values. Notice your emotions, name them, and practice the RAIN technique. Recognize, tolerate, explore, and accept without defining them. Examine the emotion with curiosity and compassion, noticing how it feels in your body. You are not your emotions. Your awareness observes them. Emotional regulation isn't about controlling emotions, but about responding to them skillfully. Anger can be experienced without depression. Fear can be recognized without panic. Chapter 5: Self-Transformation and Self-Love. Emotions provide information, but you choose action. Develop a toolbox for healthy emotional regulation. Deep breathing activates your parasympathetic nervous system, helping you respond rather than react. Physical movement helps you metabolize stress. Journaling makes it easier to understand and process your emotions. Creative expression allows emotions to move through you constructively. Learn to cope with uncomfortable emotions rather than avoid them. Our culture teaches us to avoid discomfort, but this only increases the pain and inhibits natural healing. When you can deal with difficult emotions, they often pass more quickly and completely. Learn to relax emotionally. Learn to soothe yourself. Get a massage. Engage in gentle movements. Listen to soothing music and soften your self-talk. This will also help you provide yourself with the comfort you seek from others but don't receive. Develop emotional boundaries. Don't experience others' emotions as your own. Empathic people often find this difficult, but learning to distinguish between your own emotions and those of others is crucial for emotional clarity and self-love. Remember, the belief that you should only feel positive emotions is false. Negative emotions are not failures or weaknesses. They are part of the human experience. Be kind to yourself when you feel anger, sadness, or fear. Emotions, like the weather, come, peak, and pass. Instead of suppressing them, allow them to flow naturally. Healthy emotional expression also includes setting boundaries. It's important to ask for support when you're angry or upset, and take protective measures when you're afraid. This honors both your own needs and the needs of others. If you learn to be compassionate with yourself, you can achieve emotional integration and true self-love. Self-love and relationships. When you cultivate true self-love, your relationships are instantly transformed. You set healthier boundaries, build genuine connections, and stop using relationships as a means to fill the void. If you can't love yourself without being critical, demanding, or unforgiving, those around you are likely limiting you in the same way. Self-love allows you to enter relationships as a whole person, not as a deficient individual. You bring gifts, love, and joy to share. You act with generosity and love instead of fear. This also strengthens your ability to be vulnerable. If you don't feel safe, you won't feel safe around others. Healthy boundaries protect you and teach you how to behave in relationships. You learn to say no and invest your energy and time in the right places. With self-love, conflict in your relationships becomes an opportunity for growth, not a threat. You can share your true thoughts and feelings without judgment. When you love yourself, the fear of loneliness disappears. You avoid destructive or toxic relationships and spend time with people who add value to your life. This natural process of sorting can be challenging at first, but it eventually leads to a social circle that truly supports and accepts you for who you are. Self-love and success. Most people think they must achieve success before they can love themselves. However, true self-love is the foundation of sustainable success. When you love yourself, you make decisions based on a strong perspective, not fear. You take risks, embrace challenges, and know that your value is not tied to the outcome. Self-love transforms a scarcity mindset into an abundance mindset. You celebrate the successes of others. You collaborate instead of compete. You believe you deserve it and fulfill your commitments to yourself. In this way, you build a successful and fulfilling life, both in the short and long term. Truly loving yourself liberates you in both your relationships and your professional life. Instead of struggling to survive, you can build a meaningful, healthy, and fulfilling life. Self-love is the foundation for loving others better and forging genuine closeness. Chapter 6: Successfully Coping with Challenges and Cultivating Self-Love Practices. Life is sometimes full of unexpected challenges and adversities. When dealing with these challenges, the stories you tell yourself are far more effective than enduring pain out of guilt or obligation. Whether you view your struggles as personal failures or as opportunities for growth and resilience, profoundly impacts your ability to maintain self-love. Whether you see yourself as a victim of a difficult situation or as someone who bravely struggles determines your emotional experience and your ability to approach yourself with compassion. You may have made mistakes or poor decisions. You may have spoken out of anger, made choices based on fear, or fallen short of your standards during stressful times. All of this is part of being human. Self-love means accepting these flaws without shame or self-condemnation. Healing processes are not linear. Hard days can follow good ones, and periods of progress can be followed by setbacks. This doesn't mean failure. Self-love is about patiently facing these ups and downs and finding meaning in your struggles. Learn to see your challenges as opportunities that can contribute to your growth, knowledge, and capacity to help others. According to Viktor Frankl's research, those who find meaning in their suffering are more resilient and heal faster. Seeking professional support during difficult times is part of self-love. Seeking therapy or counseling is a sign of wisdom, not weakness. Just as you would go to the doctor for a broken bone, mental and emotional wounds deserve professional care. Life's storms offer opportunities to deepen rather than destroy your self-love. Every challenge strengthens your self-love and your confidence to cope with life. At this point, self-love ceases to be a practice and becomes a way of being that allows you to face whatever life throws at you. Now let's go a little further. Advanced self-love practices. These go beyond basic self-care and positive thinking. Accepting and integrating aspects of yourself that you deny or hide is known as shadow work. We all have aspects we find unacceptable or shameful. Anger, sensitivity, or ambition. Denying these aspects leads to internal conflict and self-sabotage. Shadow work involves accepting these aspects with compassion and finding healthy ways to express them. The qualities you judge harshly in others are often aspects you reject in yourself. These triggers guide you to a better understanding of yourself. Learning to love your imperfections creates a deep sense of self-acceptance and allows you to appreciate your unique humanity. Developed self-love also involves actively caring for and taking care of yourself. Every day, you can place your hand on your heart and say simple but powerful affirmations like, "May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be peaceful." Regularly celebrating your successes and efforts strengthens your self-confidence. Working with your body is also important. Practices like yoga, breathing exercises, dance, or massage can help you release accumulated tension and trauma. Embody your self-confidence through your posture, eye contact, and speech. When you feel loved and respected, you begin to feel the same within yourself. In short, self-love is not just an emotion. It is a force that transforms your life, making you strong and balanced. By facing challenges, accepting your shadow self, and supporting your body, you can develop true self-confidence and an unwavering sense of inner balance. This is a critical foundation for both success and life satisfaction. Chapter 7: Enhanced Self-Love and Boundary-Based Happiness in Romantic Relationships. Values-based decision-making empowers you to make choices in your life that align with your true self. When you truly love yourself, your decisions are based on things that respect your values, support your growth, and serve you. This may mean disappointing others, taking risks, or choosing unconventional paths, but it leads to true fulfillment and success. Coping with emotional discomfort, a skill psychologists call distress tolerance, strengthens your ability to cope with whatever life throws at you. Facing difficult emotions, rather than avoiding them, builds inner strength and resilience. Embrace radical responsibility. You may not be able to control what happens to you, but you can always control how you respond. This builds personal initiative and self-confidence. The most advanced practice is to become your own source of approval and love. By ceasing to seek approval from others, you understand the value of your own efforts and freely pursue your dreams. This inner self-efficacy creates a magnetic sense of self-confidence. When you make peace with your shadows and flaws, external criticism, failure, or rejection won't affect you. And one of the most challenging areas, romantic relationships and dating. The desire for love and connection is so strong that many people lose themselves in their search for romantic validation. They ignore their values, tolerate mistreatment, and compromise their identities. Practicing self-love in romantic relationships requires conscious boundaries and genuine awareness. When you learn to love yourself, you can approach relationships from a perspective of abundance, not scarcity. You come to the table as a whole person. The relationship exists to support your growth, not to fill your voids. This energy shift is attractive. People are naturally drawn to those who are at peace with themselves and not dependent on others. Self-love means knowing and maintaining your boundaries in dating and relationships. Be clear about what behaviors you won't accept. Express your needs honestly. Instead of creating a fake version to please others, reveal your true self. Being rejected for who you truly are is better than being accepted as a fake version. This is the key to building lasting and healthy bonds. Additionally, maintaining your individual identity is crucial. Maintain your relationship without sacrificing your hobbies, friends, and goals. Creating beautiful things together involves exploring different facets and supporting each other's growth. Clearly, express your needs through conscious communication and don't try to change your partner. Accept them as they are. Self-love allows you to set boundaries around behaviors that are harmful or contrary to your values. The ability to recognize flaws and character incompatibilities and to end the relationship when necessary is the ultimate expression of self-love in romantic relationships. Chapter 8: living a truly authentic life with radical self-acceptance and self-love. If you truly love yourself, your decisions are no longer made to impress others or meet societal expectations. From your career choices to your relationships, from your lifestyle to your goals, every step is shaped by what truly matters to you. This might mean choosing a low-paying but fulfilling job over a high-paying but challenging one, prioritizing creativity over self-confidence, or prioritizing relationships over achievement. These choices take courage. They might disappoint others, lead to deviations from established paths, and conflicts with family or societal expectations. But living authentically means trusting yourself enough to stay true to your own values, despite the risks involved. Authenticity involves sharing your true thoughts and feelings, rather than saying what you think others want to hear. Relationships are no different. Self-love means openly expressing your weaknesses, needs, and limitations. Instead of acting according to the expectations of others, relationships and opportunities that align with your true self naturally arise. This way, you attract people who truly appreciate you and situations that don't pressure you. Authenticity and self-love inspire others. Someone who boldly expresses their true self sets an example for others to discover and express their true nature. This doesn't mean being selfish or self-centered. Rather, it means living consciously, aware of the impact of your personality and your interactions with your environment. Over time, self-love creates a compounding effect. Just like financial investments, small daily practices can lead to big results. These changes, initially subtle, can initiate profound transformations in your life and relationships when practiced regularly. Through neuroplasticity, your brain rewires itself through repeated experiences. Every time you choose self-compassion over self-criticism, your neural pathways are strengthened. Setting healthy boundaries, practicing authentic expression, and self-worth build natural self-esteem and self-confidence over time. Anxiety and self-doubt diminish, and an inner sense of self-confidence emerges. This inner transformation is reflected in the external areas of your life. You make better decisions. You say no to depleting commitments and yes to energizing experiences. You eat healthier, exercise regularly, and embrace learning opportunities. Every good decision makes you feel more valued and empowered to make better decisions. Relationships also benefit from this compounding effect. With healthy boundaries and clear communication, harmful relationships naturally diminish, while valuable ones deepen. Your increased self-confidence is met with respect and care by your partners, friends, and colleagues. This boost also manifests in your professional life, increasing your opportunities to speak up in meetings, take on challenging projects, assume leadership roles, and negotiate better. Self-love also supports your physical health. When you value yourself, you naturally take better care of your body through nutrition, exercise, sleep, and stress management. This leads to sustained energy and fulfillment in all areas of life. Living authentically and achieving deep-rooted self-acceptance means letting go of others' expectations, expressing your true self, making authentic decisions, and valuing yourself. While this path may seem challenging at first, it ultimately creates a life that fulfills you internally and positively impacts the world around you. In summary, self-love and authenticity enable you to make decisions based on what you truly value, helps you connect with the right energies in your relationships and opportunities, inspires yourself and others. This combined effect creates positive transformation in every aspect of your life, strengthens your inner self, and healthy boundaries. Living authentically is a gift not only for yourself, but also for those around you. Because when you express your true self, you give others permission to do the same. This is the most powerful and fulfilling way to live.